What's up, Ron and Nicole? It's Jess. I'm just checking in with you here on this Whittier property, and I want to take you behind the scenes a little bit because it's actually a lot of moving parts and more than not actually really exciting. So visual demonstration would be better than either just typing it out two-dimensionally or whatnot. Here's our guy right here on Whittier, okay? Now, when taking a look and panning back at the rest of the activity going on in that hood, what you've got is 17 different properties, okay? Majority of them active, 3 of them pending, and 3 of them sold, okay? So first look as an overview, you check it out, the CMA. Right off the bat, you can see that this guy is actually kicking ass with respect to where it sits with the rest of its buddies out here in the market. Only one cheaper is this little guy up here on top, Montalvo. Now, and this other guy right here in Temecula. But here's the real distinction. If you can take a look, and what you'll notice is there's not another in the entire spread that is actually a 3-unit, two separate buildings. So there's not even one. It's the only one in the entire market right now that's representing that, and it's also one of the cheapest. So we'll get to a little bit around that in a little bit. So just taking an overview. The actives in there for the 2.2s should have this thing on average at about $130,000 more than where it's sitting right now, all things considered, okay? The solds is much more of the same. That's a really healthy relationship between those two numbers, which also recognizes a normalized market. And again, that's sitting now at about 611, okay? So stone's throw of each other. Now, the pendings is a little curious down here. This could just be a snapshot in time and not really any need to look too far into it. But look how far the pending drops down here on average. They got that little guy up there, that 349 that's pulling the whole train down, because this guy is sitting at a pretty healthy little average down there as well. And then the 615 much more normalized. So a couple things going on with there. So that's the overview, okay? So now we start dissecting the properties actually a little closer. And these two down here are my favorites. These are my 2 favorite comps. Starting off on the lower end, this guy here on Lotus. This was not a short sale, and it was not an REO. And if you take a look at the photos, it's I would imagine, and I don't think anybody would disagree, a pretty stock layout for the 2.2. And where's that other one that was right next door? It was Mendocino. This one's actually right next door to you guys. Okay? So it's another active. And check this out. They're trying to fetch $750 for this dog. Okay? It's not even a 3-unit. It's a 2.2, just like we talked about. And it needs some work. Yeah, it's got some nice fundamentals, got a little yard and stuff. But really, I mean, hardwood floors, and they want, like, what, $250,000 more than the one that you're, vying for? So something to be considered. And then finally down here, this guy is, I think, probably our best comp. This guy over here on Muir. Because not only is it a short sale, and not only is it right there in the hood, but it was originally listed for $449. Okay, and you take a look at it, and it's a nice little property. It's got a little hacienda style, the arched entryways, nice kitchen, right? Stackable laundry right there in the unit. Fair size bedrooms, indoor-outdoor patio area there with lots of natural light. Got some character there in the backyard. This is a great comp, and it was a short sale. And it sold for $503. So I was just plugging out some math here right before push and play. And assuming that this is the best comp, and an appraiser probably wouldn't disagree with that notion, the relationship between those two numbers is 112% of each other. So if you take the $495 that Whittier's fetching, that would put the actual sale price to be closer to 5.5. So there's a good chance that that's what this one might fetch, and it could also be out of our price range. So what my best recommendation would be is they're pricing ahead of the market for 2 reasons. One is it's a short sale, and what they know is that anything that comes up dynamic with that process is going to be the buyer's issue. So they do not want something to come up knowing right now or unknowingly along the process to go through the whole thing, have a sale date within 30 days, and then have the buyer find something and find he's no longer comfortable dealing with it because he's going to have to pay for it. And at the number right now, it doesn't make sense, right? So they're pricing ahead of the market for that respect. They might know something, they might not. It's not our obligation to know that, other than to say we have to just account for that. Okay, so it's like caveat emptor. So there's a little dance going on there. It looks like Muir was a pretty healthy property, so they were able to fetch what it was actually worth in that respect. So I'd like to find a somewhere in the middle, which, oh, by the way, just happens to be your price range anyway. So I'm going to encourage you guys to consider this thing that it's worth probably more at about 5.5, and that knowing our max is like 525, 530, for us to come up with a number we're comfortable with and then throw it out there and see if we can get anywhere close near to that and nothing comes up. This is going to be the steal of the century, you guys. There's not even a 3-unit 2 building out there that's even remotely in this price range. So that's all I got right now.